I didn't put the microphone in. As I didn't put the microphone. I didn't. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Testing. Why are you sitting like this, bro? Don't understand what's going on. Yeah, what is going on? Hey. I think I need this. Hello guys, I hope you're all good. I hope everything is fantastic out there. So what I'm going to do right now is just to speak on what I'm going to do here on this moment. This is a live and welcome. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to the channel. I would actually appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen. So today what I'm going to do, it's very simple. It's not actually complicated. I'm just going to do what we call a reaction video on the announcement, I can call it that, and also an announcement for the Floyd Shivambu thing. Okay, remember that Mr. Floyd Shivambu has actually left the MK party, even though he says that he hasn't left the MK party. He's still a member of the MK party, but we all know what that means. Okay, so it seems like, now I will tell you guys why I actually think that, sort of like, if you were to look at it as a plan, okay, if you were to look at it as a plan, which I don't think that it's a plan, to be honest with you guys, I don't think that it's a plan. in terms of the caucus. But on the other hand, okay, in the back of my mind, somewhere there in my mind, somewhere, I am under the impression that maybe not, maybe yes, I don't know. It might be a plan, even though maybe it may not be a plan that they maybe they have planned, sit down and everything, okay? But it might maybe work for them if it works out. Now, I really am not going to believe, guys, and I'm very sorry, I am not going to believe that whatever we are seeing on the surface, okay, what we see on the surface, that will mean what we see on the media, what we see when they jump up and down in their rallies, when they speak this and that and that. I am not going to sit here and be like, yeah, that's what actually enough for me to believe what is happening, okay? Now, you would remember, guys, that when Mr. Shivambu left the EFF, they announced and all of that. So I made a video on that, and I was talking about, you know, the way Mr. Shivambu, when he was announcing his leaving the EFF, okay, I had a problem because of the way they announced it and the way it was done in terms of their response from Mr. Malema and the way Mr. Shivambu has actually has left the EFF. Okay, now I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go back and say a lot of things there, because according to me, whether we believe it, whether you guys don't believe it, it's fine. But in the back of my mind somewhere, there is this thing that is saying to me, you know what, my guy, this thing, it might be a plan, especially for in the context of black people. It may be a plan maybe that they planned a long time ago. It might be a plan that maybe they didn't plan, but it is just happening. I don't know if that makes sense, okay? It may not make sense right now, but I believe that, you know what, I don't know, guys, you know, when it comes to politics, I told you, ladies and gentlemen, to say, don't take politics and put it in your heart, because it will hurt you. It will hurt you. You will always be angry. You will hate politics. You will hate everything about politics. Why? Because you are taking it and putting it in your heart. Okay? Now, we are going to get inside the video now. I want us to listen to what Mr. Shivambu said, which I think is very important, so that we can listen to him bit by bit. Okay? We are going to do that bit by bit. We listen to him and we see on what actually he said. All right, and I'm going to say some things in there also while he is busy talking. I will pause there and all of that. Okay, but we all know the story of Mr. Shivambu when he was in the MK party. When he joined the MK party, for me it was a good thing for the MK party. That was the first thing. It was a good thing for them to have Mr. Shivambu there, and as an evidence, okay, as an evidence that it was a good thing, he has done what actually was supposed to be done, okay, in the party. That will be to put the structures, all right, and also to put what, to put the constitution, to put the rules, putting clause where they're supposed to put in clause, putting people in place, positions and stuff like that, okay? He did that. But now, the problem is, I think I did hear somewhere, I don't know whether it was on the news or wherever, that actually the MK party, they might, I don't know, they might, I'm speculating because I don't remember whether I heard it or it was something that, yeah, I think I heard it somewhere. So somebody said it, I think in passing or anything, to say that MK party, they might maybe want to remove everything that Mr. Shivambu has done, okay? The constitution, whatever, because if this fight or if this quarrel that was within the MK party, it's so deep, okay? We will see when the MK party then remove some of the things that Mr. Shivambu has actually done. You know? Now, obviously, we are not going to say, all right, that everything that was done in the constitution of the MK party, it was done strictly by Mr. Shivambu. We cannot actually say that, okay? Because I don't think that will be actually true, okay? Because obviously when they draft the constitution, whatever, they sit down, all of them, those who are at the top and whatever, and then they plan things, okay? But if they remove then it will mean that it is deeper. It will mean that they are angry. It will mean that they don't want anything to do with him. That means anything that he has, that has the footprints Zaga Mr. Shivambu, then they are going to remove them. Okay? But and I'm very sorry, but it's going to be a problem. Why? Because this thing is going to take them back. It's going to take them back. They are going to have to start again, come together, think about the clause, think about the constitution, think about all these things. The good thing maybe, if I may say, the good thing that they have got a lawyer there, okay, which is Mr. Mpofu, which is a good thing actually. We all know Mr. Mpofu and stuff like that. Now, I want us to play here. I've been talking now. I think I've been talking for 4 minutes now. If you came before the 4 o'clock hits, you heard what I said. But I guess everyone will hear that when they rewatch, okay? Or when they get to the video. Now, I want us to listen here. Very careful, right? I saw this lady. Guys, what you need to know, what you need to understand, okay? Before we start, what you need to understand, right, is the following. When it comes to politics and when it comes to people who are in politics, especially those that are known, those that are up there, right? You're Floyd, you're Mr. Malema, you're Mr. Zuma, you're Mr. Ramaphosa, you're Mr. Mbalula, who else? You know, all those guys that are big in politics. One thing that you must know, in any party, okay, in any party, there are people who've got their favorites. That means if you've got a leadership up there, maybe top 6, top 7, top 8, top 10, whatever the top is, all right, there are people who've got their own favorites. They know that if my guy is there, that is my guy, okay? Whether you like it or not, people have favorites, okay? That is why even those people who go to church, who go to church, you would know that when they have got maybe, for example, a conference. Now, a conference is where they may, especially if they invite speakers, they invite many, maybe let's say they invite, just for argument's sake, 4 speakers. There are people who will come to that conference, not because they are coming to the conference, but they will be coming to listen to their favorite person, favorite pastor, favorite whatever. They might not attend the whole thing. They might actually come on the day when that guy is preaching. Just like in the politics, you've got leaders up there. They have got the people on the ground. And it's not done by the leaders. It is done by the people on the ground. They have got their own favorites. That is why when Mr. Shivambu left the EFF, there were people who followed him. That is why also right now, when Mr. Shivambu leaves the MK party, there are people who are following him. Okay? Because that's how it is. Whether you like it or not, even at work, there are people who've got their own favorites. All right? And even the leader, some of the leaders, they do have their own favorites on the ground. And those who are in the ground, if they've got their favorites at the top, they are expecting them to do something for them. That will be to give them positions, this and that and that and that. And unfortunately, sometimes we forget, okay? It's all about that. That is why a lot of people, when it's a conference in politics, they vote for a president, they vote for a leadership, whatever, okay? That is why Mr. Mbambalula always complains about, yeah, don't speak before the conference, don't speak about the president who will take over before the conference, because he knows that if it can start now, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem because it derails. You end up seeing who favors who. You end up seeing where the president might come from, where it might end. And so sometimes, I don't know whether it's a good thing or it's a bad thing, but in the ANC, they like to avoid all of that, okay? But I believe that favorites will always be there. Whether we like it or not, people will always have their own favorite. People in the leadership, and some of them, they might have their favorites because they are expecting something. Okay, that is why you will hear even Mr. Shivambu saying, friends this, friends that. I am not there. I think he even said it before when he left the EFF. I think he also said it when he was interviewed by that lady, that beautiful lady. Who is that lady at the newsroom? A Zulu lady, I think. Who is Zianda? She was interviewing him. He told him that this thing, it's not about friendship, it's not about who you know, you know. But I can tell you, leaders, they have people that favors them. And when it's voting time, they want their people to be there. Anyway, let's get into this, guys. Hope you enjoy this, okay? Please, while you are doing that, please watch and like and subscribe and share and do whatever, right? Let's go.
The nation has been waiting for this moment. Please come forward. Thank you.
No, I have to take off this cap because so that I can present properly and be much more visible. Not like don't see which cap is there. But it's this cap. But it's a relevant cap in terms of what we were going to talk about. Thank you very much.
That was actually very clever when he goes in. Remember, when he goes in, it's very tense. You know, the room, it's tense. Everyone is waiting and it's tension. And it's like, yeah, you know, and then he comes in. He starts by talking about the cap, you know. And the cap, it's all about the party, obviously, that he was part of, which is the MK party. Then he makes a joke and say, listen, when I take the cap, don't mean that, you know, I'm just, you know, whatever. But it's just to respect you guys so that you can see me well, which I think it's a good way of breaking the ice, to be honest with you. You don't want to go there like, you know, just like when he announced, when he left the EFF, it was a tension. You could see the mood was like something else. But this time it's different, you know. There is lighting, there is that smile in his face and blah blah blah. I don't think he's that hurt or he's that deeply hurt, you know. I don't expect him to be hurt like that because he's a grown man, and also I believe he has experienced these type of things many times. But I like the way he did it. And there was a journalist, which from according to what I heard, it was Mr. that guy at the SAPC. I think he was talking about what, and then it breaks the ice, which I think it's good when it comes to presentation, when you speak to people. Now, I heard somebody when he was advising people when it comes to public speaking, that before you do a public speaking, some people, they use this tactic of becoming jokeful. They make a joke before they go in, and not before, but when they get into the stage, they make a joke to make people laugh, and then it breaks the ice, then the tension goes down, and then you are able to address people. Even if you are angry, when you do that, it takes your anger down, and then you can be able to address people, you know. But anyways, people, they address things in different ways and deal with things in different ways. Let's go.
Thank you very much, Comrade Nolu Babalo, who has volunteered to assist us in terms of this process, and want to also acknowledge the president of Manda Ashu Workers Union of South Africa, which I'm a volunteer of. I'm a volunteer of Mausa, a union that organizes workers, community workers, and seminars that are organized under the expanded public works program. And I want to also acknowledge the leadership that is here. I don't know if they was mentioned there by names. Former Treasurer General of Mkonto Season in Zuma is with us here. And we've got the Comrade Mahlaba as well from KwaZulu Natal. The provincial organizer of Mkonto Season.
Sporty TV YouTube promo, 20 seconds, action!
Okay, I'll start. We've got the best live football in the world and for free. And you could have.
The former provincial convener of Mpumalanga, who convened before elections, pro cause, not those who came after elections in terms of the work. And members of the media and the people of South Africa, we send our revolutionary greetings to all the people of South Africa and black people in the African continent and in the African diaspora. We have called this press conference to speak about some of the recent political developments as it relates to the roles that we're playing in Mkonto season. That on the 3rd of June 2025, the leadership of Mkonto season, after national officials meeting, announced the discontinuation of my role as the Secretary General of Mkonto season. And when the appointment of the announcement was made, there was an indication that we will be redeployed to the National Assembly to form part of the parliamentary caucus of Mkonto season. The principle established in the public announcement was that no leader and no member of Mkonto season should speak about the reasons why the decision was taken. But it appears that there are those who are talking freely and in most instances almost distorting just what transpired.
Okay, so what we see now is in the MK party, when Mr. Shivambu was excused when it comes to from his position, which is the Secretary General, they said, okay, not 1%, or they are not allowed to speak about it. That means to say more than what they have said. All right? Of course, it means that there is more to it, or there was more to it than what they have told us. Okay? Now, I'm going to say that in that way, I believe that, I don't know, but it seemed like the way they did it, which I think it was a good way, according to me, maybe to make sure that there is not dramatic things happening, right, in the party of the MK party. Because what they have said is, okay, we have dismissed him, we have announced in the press conference, Mr. Zuma has spoken, and then it ends there. No person must speak more than what the party has said. Which, according to me, maybe they were trying to protect Mr. Shivambu. That will mean Mr. Shivambu will speak for himself at any time he wants to speak about it. Okay? But I think, obviously, when they announced it and they told us it was Mr. Bushiri, this, Bushiri, that, well, there was more to it than what they have said. At that time, I had that feeling, but I was like, anyway, because they are telling us in the press conference, so we just have to take it just like that, okay? But I knew, and I think a lot of people knew, that it's actually more than, there is more than what they are telling us. And of course, if they decide to keep it like that, it's fine. I don't think they are, they have to tell everything, especially if there are individuals who are actually involved, in the whole thing, which I think I respect that. And because you don't want to cause tension while you are announcing, in the press conference, and then there is tension. Yeah, this guy, he stole money. Yeah, this guy, there is a report. What the report? Blah, 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 blah. Okay? Anyway, but I respect the way they did it, okay? According to me. Okay, maybe you don't like it the way they did it, but anyway, it's fine.
Member of Mkondo season want to put on record as to what were the reasons that were given the national officials for my redeployment. The reason given the national officials for my deployment or removal as Secretary General was that I want to overthrow President Zuma as the president of Mkondo season. That is what I said. That all the work that we're doing as Secretary General of establishing structures and identifying leaders was meant to ultimately at the removal of President Zuma as president of Mkondo season. And as part of that reasoning, an extremely bizarre and fake intelligence report was produced, which was claimed to be a conversation between me and some people in the African continent, where it is alleged that despite raising money to remove President Zuma, I'm also accumulating supernatural powers to make people disappear.
Helen Haxel was able to win any competition she
Guys,
took
I'm
part in.
sorry.
She was known as the contest queen because she had won 7 trips to Paris.
Bear with me, because hey, that's how it is. This is actually the channel SABC. the channel SABC, the South African broadcaster. Let's see.
So we had to deal with superstitious issues as the basis of what happens, that there's apparently a head which I was going to be given to give to someone, and some people were going to die so that I can become president of Mkondo. That was the intelligence report, which were rejected with contempt and said that that is absolute rubbish, and said that if anyone claims to have my WhatsApp conversations, I can hand over my phone. I even offered in the meeting that take my phone and check not only the messages that you claim were about the removal of President Zuma, also check any other message about anything that I communicate as a leader of Mkondo season. Because there's a principle which I always uphold, that there is nothing that I do privately that I cannot own up publicly. Nothing, including personal relations. There's nothing that I will ever do privately which you cannot own up publicly. And we accepted the redeployment to Parliament with those misgivings that we're going to make people disappear in order to take over the leadership of Mkondo season. And in a subsequent meeting posted that another fake report was presented which claims to be WhatsApp conversations between me and someone else, where I'm reported to be saying that, yeah, I'm going to use Parliament now to take over the party. And I've got money from Stellenbosch who are going to take over the party through Parliament. They are taking me closer to where we're going to take power. And as a result, a decision was taken which was not yet communicated, that even this thing of Parliament must not happen. In fact, the former Secretary General, which is myself, must be expelled from the organization. A letter was written and was put in the briefcase of the president, who said that he's going to dispatch it as and when he feels like to discontinue my membership of Mkondo season. Those are actual facts in terms of the reason. And where does this come from? So the president of Mkondo season, whom I dearly and so deeply respect, is surrounded by political scoundrels who opportunistically use his kindness, sometimes gullibility that comes with age, to write down fake intelligence report to influence him towards the wrong directions. And the reason they do that is because they want to steal money from Consultation. And they are doing so now. Withdrawal of not less than 7 million rand every month from the organizational coffers. That is what divided, and that is what we're talking about this because we raised it internally that stop what you are doing because you're going to get.
Okay, so one, they are accusing him of dethroning Mr. Zuma. Now the question will be, why would Mr. Shivambu do that in an MK party that was started by Mr. Zuma? Why would he do that? He can start his own party. Why would he do it in the MK party, in such a big party like MK party? I think Mr. Shivambu is clever than that, is smarter than that, you know? Now they say that according to what he says. And then they come up with a intelligent report, whatever it's called. And then they say he was trying to do all these things. Now, you will remember, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm very sorry because this thing now, it becomes a problem when I'm looking at Mr. Zuma, okay? Now, this is what I am saying, okay? You remember when Mr. Zuma was a president? All of you will remember that. You will remember when Mr. Zuma was a president. There was a report, which is what I think is called intelligent report, whatever, that Mr. Zuma wanted God, okay? I don't know how he got it or whatever, because I don't think they did explain. Well, they did tell us that there was a report, intelligent report, blah, 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 right? To remove the late Mr. Pravin Gordhan, may his soul rest in peace, to remove him from being a Minister of Finance. And then you remember that Mr. Van Rooyen came in for just a weekend. That is why they call him Weekend Special. Now it becomes a problem for me that it seems like Mr. Zuma, anything that comes from somebody, I don't know, maybe his favorite or people that he likes or people that are close to him, anything that comes to them and it's brought to him, he doesn't question it. He is not like, but guys, are you sure? You know, and maybe do other investigations if he is not biased, okay? But anyway, it's his party. Just like they always say, they have said that, this MK party, especially Mr. Mbalula, this MK party, it's a Zuma party, you know? So, they use that report to remove Mr. what? Mr. Shivambu, okay? And Mr. Shivambu says that's not true, you know? They have used some fake things. And you will remember that Mr. Shivambu did speak about that thing when he was interviewed by Zianda at the newsroom interview. You remember when he said there are people who were busy sending some emails, letters, and they were using a fake logo and stuff like that. So it seems like Mr. Zuma, this is the second time now he is, I don't know, he is using a report that he got somewhere, and then he is using it to remove someone. Okay, this is the second time. All right, and in the first place, you remember when he was a president. But when he was a president, guys, you know that it was a dramatic thing that happened there. It was just dramatic. It was a chaos. It was just a mess. You know. You remember that thing. I don't know if you guys remember these things, you know. You must always, when you see something happening, remember the past. Remember what happened in the past. He did the same thing with Mr. Pravin Gordhan. I don't know whether it was a good thing, whether it was a bad thing. And ladies and gentlemen, let me repeat this again, and I'm going to say this and repeat this until you get it, okay? People in politics, they've got their favorite people. What if Mr. Zuma they just came up, I don't know, I'm not saying, please guys, please, I'm not saying this is true, I'm just thinking, okay? What if somebody forged or maybe cooked some report when he was still a president. And maybe they made it to come through as if like it's a report from the intelligence. So that Mr. Zuma can remove Mr. Pravin Gordhan, and then somebody maybe who is their favorite maybe comes in. Okay? Now, if that is true, listen, this is if allegedly, if I'm not saying if, I'm saying if, okay, this is just my theory, okay? And if that is true, then that will mean that whomever is going to be is going to be placed there, they will have to hope that it is the person that they want, if they didn't speak to the president. Okay? Now, if they didn't speak to the president, they are just doing it so that maybe if there is a chance, their person will enter there. And maybe the president puts someone that is not their favorite, then it's going to be a problem. You see? Even here, it could be the same thing. That maybe it's some people who just came up, they want their favorite to be there, and then maybe they cook something and then they gave it to him, and then he just, he just fell for it, and then he just said, okay, we are removing him, and then he was removed. But the other thing is they will have to hope that their favorite is the one that is going to be put there. Guys, politics is just cruel. Politics is just dirty game, guys. Some people, they don't get positions because they are good. They don't get positions because they are good, because they can do a great job. No, some of them, they get positions because somehow they played it. They played it, and because when I was listening to him speaking about the intelligence report, it took me back to when he was a president, to Mr. President. When Mr. Zuma was a president, it took me back there. And I'm like, guys, really? Really? Huh? Really? I don't know. That is why when I posted a video about the president of Botswana. Did you hear what he said? He said that he doesn't like to be briefed a lot. That means when he receives papers, when they give him papers, they give him some a briefing paper. For example, it's sometimes it becomes like a big thing so that he can read it. He says to us that he reads it. He says that he doesn't need the staff or the officials to come to him again and report to him and say, okay, in this page, what, because he can read it. That means he reads when he receives briefs. The question is, does some presidents or does some leaders in these parties, when they receive these papers, do they read them? Do they sit down for an hour and read it and make sense of it? That means ask yourself questions. Ask yourself questions. As a president, I believe you should be able to do that. And if you are a president who always receives papers and you are not reading, you are passing them to somebody else, or you ask people to read for you, to interpret for you, it becomes a problem because you end up believing everything because you can't read, or maybe you can't understand things. And it will become a problem in your party or in anybody's party. If you are a president or a leader of that party, you can't read even papers. You can't read briefs. You can't read an intelligent report. You just give it to people. Please read for me and interpret for me there. And then you've got a problem. You have to be able to read them. You have to be able to sit down and give yourself time and read them. Okay, this is an intelligent report. They are saying to me, 1, 2, 3. They are saying Mr. Shivambu wants to remove me and blah, 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 because because he was talking to this person, this person, this person. You start asking questions. You don't just ask your friends and say, this is true. They will say, yes, it's true, especially if they want him gone. They will say, yes, it's true. Now, Mr. Shivambu is removed because of that reason. And this is the second time it's happening right now. It was when Mr. Zuma was a president, and now it's happening in his party. Listen, guys. They can make it sound very nice and say, It's a intelligent report. It's a what I can tell you. People, they can manipulate things, they can forge things, they can create things and make them look good and make them look like it is. Later in life, you realize that was not true, and then you are like, yo, I was played. Any person can play anyone. Any person can play anyone, especially if it has to do with positions. People, they can do anything for positions. They can do anything for positions. Just like other people, they can do anything to keep their land. They can do anything to keep their businesses. They can do anything to keep their jobs. They can do anything to keep their positions. I can tell you, there are people who are like that. Okay, so I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is, right? He is where he is right now because of that intelligent report and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Registered as a political party because there is no sound reason on what has been happening, and it's things that we can any reasonable doubt, not because it's things that we can change, and it's things that we cannot fake. And for that reason, when we raise every TG who has ever raised that got to be removed as leadership of Mkondozi. And there's no TG who has resigned as Mkondozi, all of them were removed to then deal with scoundrels who surround President Zuma to steal money of the organization. I carried my responsibilities as leader of Mkondozi with utmost respect and respected everyone. Led with the collective the process of drafting the constitution and other foundational documents of the organization. Set up structures as part of a collective effort. Got to institutionalize the MK Women's League, the Youth League, the Students' Movement, the MK Interreligious Movement, which in the past used to exist as separate organizations of the South African Interfaith Religious Council, MK Religious Desk, Abelapi Babuko, and various other organizations, interfaith, and we got to unite them to have one organization. We got to even have to formalize the relations between Mkondo Isizwe and the Progressive Civic Congress. Formalize the relationship with MK and MK professionals, MK medics. There's a lot of commendable work which was done by MK medics, a group of medical doctors and health practitioners who went to communities to offer healthcare services. And in the process of doing that, every day, the political scoundrels work endlessly to speak negatively about the work that we're doing. I was saying, actually, I said it in the national officials meeting because we can't hold that meeting in private even when people are talking now. That in December 2024, there was a statement written to remove me as the Secretary General on the basis that I'm about to announce a political party with Tokyo Zikwale and Lindo Zisulu, whom I've never spoken to about anything. Draft statement that was even shared with me. Remove him today because he is going to form a political party. And that is full-time work that is dedicated on everything that we do.
We're not mincing our work.
Oh, guys, really?
It's when we say, you can never have too much Parmalat cheese.
When you sit down, it's a problem. When you stand up, it's a problem. When you go out, it's a problem. When you come in, it's a problem every day. Because those who surround him have got evil intentions in terms of what they want to happen. I've got tremendous respect for President Zuma. I think that in the few close working relationships that we've got to maintain and work with now, I think I've learned more in the 6 months than I learned in the 10 years I was the president of Mkondo of the EFF. I learned more.
Do you you guys think that he actually, do you think that he's saying that just to spite maybe the EFF, or did he actually lend more than when he was in the EFF? I don't know. But it's his experience at the end of the day, right? We cannot say yes, no, he's lying, because that is his experience. He says that, well, in the EFF, yes, I was there, blah, blah, but I learned more in the MK party than I was in the EFF, which makes me to think that maybe, just maybe, the reason why he says this, it was because when he was in the EFF, maybe he was not doing a lot of things. Maybe whatever that he was doing, it was just a small in the background thing. There is nothing that he can touch and say, this here, this there, right? Which I think sometimes maybe when you are a person who thinks that you've got a potential on making more difference in people's lives, in parties, in any organization, sometimes when you are blocked, or maybe when you are deprived an opportunity for you to express yourself, in most cases, that's how you will feel when you go to a party where they allow you, they say you can flow, my guy, you can put your ideas, you can put them into action. In most cases, that's how people feel at the end of the day, okay? Now, the surprising thing is that he is bold enough to say, I learned more in the what? In the MK party than when I was in the EFF, okay? Well, we cannot dispute that, because that is his experience, all right? But anyway, I don't know, man. I don't know. Now, that is why I think also he will say in the later stage, he will say that the EFF, he views it as a cult, okay? Because when something is a cult, it means that that thing is run by one person, even if they've got people around. But every decision, it is made by that person. That means even if you can have an opinion, that person can just override it and brush it off and be like, no, we go with what I say. So that's a cult. The person does what they want, and you don't have a say. If you've got a potential, it will end there. It's just your potential, it will die there and everything. You are not able to express yourself. That's what a cult is, I believe. Okay? Anyway, that is just me, right? But anyway, I don't know.
A member of Consultation and I learned as a deputy president of the EFF. In terms of real politics and appreciation of both the domestic and global politics, much more thoroughly in terms of the issues. And under no circumstances would I ever fault President Zuma and his politics. I joined Consultation because I thought that as part of the political historiography of South Africa, his politics and character should be protected and a legacy built around his proper politics, not the ones of credibility and the producing of fake intelligence report. Since the decision to remove ourselves as Secretary General took place, there have been a lot of ordinary South Africans from all corners of the country. There have been a lot of comrades who came from Consultation, from the ANC, from the EFF, to say, what then do we do moving forward? Because I did explain to them what were the developments. And a substantial number of those say that don't ever try to join the ANC, and I fully agree with them. That will never join the ANC.
What then do we do? People from the ANC, people from the MK party, people from the EFF. Now, for me, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. For me, I'm sorry guys, but I am thinking, okay? Now, from the MK party, I understand. It makes sense for me. from the MK party because he's from there. And from the EFF, I don't know. But from the ANC also, I can say I don't know. But what I'm thinking is, there are people, oh guys, this is important. There are people, when Mr. Shivambu left the ANC, people who wanted to follow Mr. Shivambu, but they couldn't follow Mr. Shivambu because Mr. Shivambu is going to start a party with Mr. Malema. Perhaps people who liked Mr. Shivambu more than they liked Malema, when he started the party with Mr. Malema, they didn't go with him because of that, right? Maybe they are waiting for him maybe to do something they can join. It may not be a party, but something, okay? And when Mr. Shivambu left the EFF, okay? And Mr. Shivambu, when he left the EFF, there were people maybe, just maybe, who wanted to follow Mr. Shivambu, but they couldn't follow Mr. Shivambu because Mr. Shivambu was going to the MK party, which they don't agree with. All right? That is very important. I told you in the beginning, I said to you, there are people who've got their favorites in these politics things. But if they are favorites, maybe they are doing things that they don't agree with, they will rather stay where they are until their favorite maybe does something that they end up liking. That's what I believe, okay? Because when he says there were people in the NC, there were people in the EFF, there were people in the MK party. In the MK party, I do understand. But in the NC and the EFF, I never thought that there would be people who will like him, who will even talk to him, and say, yeah, but whatever. It means that there are people in these parties that they wish that they can join him maybe when he starts anything else, okay? But not joining other parties. Maybe they don't like that. And maybe some of them are people with money, We want to support you, my guy, but we cannot support you because you are going to parties that we don't want you to go to. And maybe they hold back and be like, nah, relax, my guy, okay? Now, he says that they came to him and told him that, I asked them if I can start a party. They said, nah, okay, not start a party. Don't go back to those parties. You see now, that statements or those words, they tell you one thing. They tell you that they like him, but they don't want him to be in those parties. They don't want him to join these other parties that they want to go out from. Maybe start your own thing, then we will join you. I believe so. Because why would they ask him that? Why would they even be interested? They are interested because they are interested. It's just that he goes to wrong parties. That's what I think, okay?
It's directionless, it doesn't know what it's doing. It's in collaboration with the wide system now. And there are those who say don't ever join or rejoin the economic freedom fighters because it's a cult. And I agree with them. There's no space for sound ideological reasoning. And there's no self-respecting person who can join both the ANC and the EFF. I agree with that fully. And there are those who say that these fundamental weaknesses with Mkondo is season.
Sporty TV YouTube promo, 20 seconds, action.
Okay, I'll start. We've got the best live football in the world, and for
that the organization seems to be run by a family and seems to be inconsistent on issues of discipline, seems to be directionless and sometimes takes conservative and reactionary positions. I say that part of the reasons why we joined the Mkondo is we could observe from far that we can't allow in South Africa a political organization that can become a tribalist and regional organization with such influence. Instead of throwing insults at MK, we have to play a role in contributing to its ideological character and politics and direction observations about the organization of Consultation. Some are correct, some I will reserve my observations on because I can't abuse the fact that I occupied a very senior role and had access to almost every development that happens. But those who want to hear my views privately who can speak about that, but I'll never abuse the fact that there's a role that we played. I did that when I left the EFF, that I said I'll never speak bad about the EFF when I was MK, and I never did. And I'll never speak bad about the MK. I'll never demonize its perspective. But also of those who came, there are those who said that we should form a political party or a political movement to contest the 2026 and 2029 elections. My view about the formation of a political party is that a political party must never be funded by an individual. My prompt response to the first number of people who came was that let us not form a political party, let us fight within the existing political parties. But that if we were to form a political party, let us go to the people of South Africa and ask them if they want to have a political party. We can't form a political party as a group of friends and as few individuals. So a political party should never be an individual project where you feel like, no, I want to start a political party and then you start it. It must never be a family project. It's very dangerous to have political parties which are family run. The political party must not be a tribal or ethnic project. In South Africa today, a political party must not be a regional, must not even be a provincial party. A political party must not be a platform for self-enrichment. It must not be a fiefdom. It must not be a cult. If anything, a political party should be a fighting instrument and vehicle for the people of South Africa, must deeply espouse the principles of democracy and democratic consultations in terms of how decisions are taken, must be transparent and must be accountable in the work that it does. So to the comrades that came to say let us form a political party, we say that we can't take that decision. Let us subject that process to the people of South Africa. So we're here today to announce that we're going to be convening the process of consulting the people of South Africa on the formation of a political movement that will be a thorough representative of the people of South Africa. And not a personal project, and not a group of friends project, not a cult, and not a fiefdom. So over the next few months, we will be consulting all the traditional leaders, we will be consulting all the church leaders, religious leaders in different institutions. We will be seeking the views and opinions of all the manifestations of the Zion Christian Church, of the Nazareth Baptist Church, of the IPCC, of the 12 Apostle Church in Christ, of the 12 Apostle Church in Trinity, of the Bantu Church of Christ, and all.
Why these politicians they like churches, like not like churches, but why do they always, when they want to do these things, then they think about the church, they think about the religious or religion, what you know? These are a lot of churches, you know, and Zion, and then he mentions other churches, and I'm like, I don't know. But anyway, I guess that's what it is, right? That's what it is. These days, churches, it seems like also they get involved in politics. Maybe they are realizing that, in fact, we are involved even if we don't want to be involved. We will be, they will involve us, you know? And it's going to consult them, and it's going to consult, you know, politicians. I don't know where do they take this thing. Every time when they are speaking, they will be like, yeah, we decided that we are going to talk to our people. To your people. These political parties, they always have their people, eh? We are their people. They say our people, all of them. Our people, our people, our... Hi, politics,
charismatic churches. We will be seeking opinions as well of prominent leaders of society and people that we have access to. Pastors Matebula, Pastor Archbishop Zondo, Malumani Musasono, Get Kosa, Pastor Bishop Don Phillips. We will be seeking the wisdom of prominent South Africans, inclusive of Dr. Ivan Kosa, of Dr. Patrice Motsepe, of Dr. Keza Mtawung, of Dr. Michael Mpuna. We will be seeking opinions of different sectors of society as to, is there a need to form a political party? That is the first question that we're going to ask. That if yes, what should be the values and principles of that political party? And what should distinguish that political party from the existing political parties? So those are the questions that we're going to be asking. We're also going to ask as to how should that political party be funded? So those are the questions that we're going to be asking different communities and constituencies across South Africa. It's not the first time that I'm engaged in a process similar to what we're going to be dealing with now. When I was a leader of the ANC Youth League, having spent 5 years in the national leadership of the ANC Youth League, and strongly believed that time that there was a suppression of the struggle for economic freedom in our lifetime. I began in 2012, when I was still a member of the ANC, to publicly write that perhaps the struggle for economic freedom in our lifetime should exist as a separate organization outside of the ANC. And then in March of 2013, I wrote a perspective as to why a political party should be founded. And that perspective is found is within the founding manifesto of the economic freedom fighters. And everyone else who came after that perspective joined that perspective and believed as to what we got to do. And of course, we got to discontinue our association with the EFF for various reasons, which if some were to speak about publicly, will cause collateral damages to families, to households, to people, because it will also speak to character and some of the things that are not worth speaking about publicly. So we will be going to all the people of South Africa to consult in all the regions of South Africa. In KwaZulu-Natal, we're going to be going to Kanyaku, there to Zululand, to Ilembe, to Ugu, to eThekwini, Amajuba, Mzinyati, Tugela, Mgungulovu, to Kintetwayo, to Yerugwa.
I wake up and it's
CPC.
there, the voice telling me to give up. I'll never give up. Slowmatic. Fight fatigue and energy loss all day, every day. Beat your slump. Slowmatic.
Do not make another debt repayment until you have watched this video. Most people don't know that they can...
In the Eastern Cape, we're going to start here in Jokabe region and go to Komani and Chris Han. We're going to go to OR Tambo in Mtata, to Alfred Zo in Mount Frere. We'll go to speak to the people of Amatole, one of the poorest districts in the Eastern Cape, which includes Bashe, Musha, and Nguma. We're going to speak to the people of Buffalo City, who are still having and confronted by lots of developmental challenges in Duncan Village and all the areas. We're going to be speaking to the people of Sarah Bartman, one of the Eastern Cape, municipalities of Blue Crane, with a small town called Cook House, of the people of Sandys River Valley, of Dlambe. I want to be speaking to the people of Nelson Mandela Bay municipality. In the Northwest Province, we're going to be consulting with the municipalities which are named after the doctors of Ngaka Mutirumulema, of Dr. Ruth Sukumotsi Mumpati, of Dr. K.K. Kaunda, of Bojanala. We'll be speaking to all the people of the Northern Cape and Francis Bar, in one of the most underdeveloped regions of Pixley Kaseme. I want to be speaking to ZF Mukau, members to Namaka, to the communities of John Taole, Haitewe region, which is still facing a lot of super exploitation by those who are operating the mineral resources. Here in Gauteng province, we are going to be speaking to the people of Johannesburg, of course, the dysfunctional municipality. I want to be speaking to the people of Ekurhuleni and people of Sidibeng, of West Rand, of Tshwane. In the Free State, we're going to be speaking to the people of Ezilidab, of Lijoleputsa, of Mangaung, of Mufutagana, of Tarib. All the three municipalities of Tarib are dysfunctional. I want to be speaking to the people of the Western Cape, in Cape Metro, in Southern Cape, in Cape Wildlands, in West Coast, in Central Karoo and Overbeck. Kusukisela le amusina kuyafika la Waterberg inkwawe tabakaya balabla na bona ka Giyani ka Malamulele inkwawe ka bona tabakaya balabla na bona ku shana ifane yisungula political party kena loko yisungula ifane yimela yini political party yaleyo ileswi nga tabakaya endla swona through the length and breadth of South Africa. I'm not talking about all these areas because I read them elsewhere. There is no area in South Africa where I have not done political work. None. Not as a political tourist. As a person who went to do political work, I know and have been familiar with the dynamics of each and every district of this country and have done political work in all corners of this country. In Mpumalanga, I forgot to speak about Mpumalanga. I've worked in Mpumalanga for the longest time. In Tanzania, in Bushbuck Ridge, Tawachewu, Bombela, and Ngomazi, 4 municipalities. In Angala, we are going to have deeper consultation in the district that is named after Herr Shadrach Sibandi. We're going to we're going to take up the spear that was left by Treasure Tabete and Mkondo and fight the battles of the people of Mkondo, of the balancing of all the municipalities of Herr Sibandi. So ladies and gentlemen, the people of South Africa, we are here today to announce a process that is going to speak to all the people of South Africa with the aim of establishing a political party if the people of South Africa say we should do so. We do not want to do that as a personal project or as a group of friends project. It must be a party that is owned by the people of South Africa. So that is basically what we had called this press conference to communicate, and we will be going to the ground to speak to the people. We'll be talking to young people via social media platforms and other media platforms. Will provide platforms as to how the engagements are going to happen. We are going to next week announce the leadership core that is going to be responsible for the consultation process, and that leadership will be coming from all the provinces of South Africa, will be properly gender balanced and not just a group of men or boys. It will be a combination of different skills and capacities so that we're able to listen much more attentively to all the people of South Africa. We thank you very much for having attended this otherwise intimate briefing on what we're
Pastor Mac, we're going to walk 5, 4.
All right, listen. I don't know, guys. Every time I am listening to Mr. Shivambu, okay, every time when he speaks. Ne? One of the things that I have admired when it comes to Mr. Shivambu is the fact that when he addresses the people, not the people, the media, and always when he speaks, obviously, you don't hear him frequently or most of the time attacking other people. Like, he doesn't attack and mention names and blah blah. When he does it, I don't know whether to say he is forced to, or maybe he wants to, I don't know. But I don't see him, and even when he was in the EFF, guys, if you are fair to yourself and you are truthful to yourself and you think about when Mr. Shivambu was in the EFF, okay, you could even hear when he speaks. I don't think he likes to attack people. What he likes to do, I think he's passionate when it comes to doing the work. He likes to do the work. He likes to do things. He likes to create things. He likes to start things. And if you are going to be dramatic and want to attack, want to do that, I wouldn't be surprised if that clause in the MK party which says we are not going to attack people, we are not going to insult people, I think maybe somehow it might have come up with him, because I don't see him attacking and always being dramatic and wanting to look good to people, whatever. He likes to prove with his work, okay? Which I think he has that maturity thing in his mind. And I think the reason is maybe he wishes, according to me, I think he wishes to have a party. He wishes to have something that is his own. I believe so. Because if he was still in the EFF, he would still be the deputy president. After 11 years, I think now, they are going to 11 or 12. Somewhere he will still be the deputy. So I think that he is passionate, and also he is ambitious. He wants his own thing, And I think when he went to the MK party, it was for him an opportunity to actually learn more than he learned from the EFF. That is why he says that he learned more in the MK party than in the EFF, because in the MK party he was hands-on, he was busy. I'm not saying in the MK party he was not, but in the MK party, remember that his ideas, chances are they were the ones that were put into practice. But in the EFF, even when it comes to the EFF press conference, guys, I don't want to lie to you. I don't like this thing of a party that has people around him, and he's got a leadership, he's got a deputy general secretary, he's got a spokesperson, he's got all these people in there, but the only person who speaks is the person that is a president. All the press conferences, for me, I don't care how you accept that, but for me, it doesn't look good for me. Okay? I don't like a person who is like that, because at the end of the day, you are telling me that it's about you. It's about you. It's about you. In other words, you are the only one who can answer the questions right. Actually right. You are the only one who understands, in other words, the party better than all of them. Okay? For me, it doesn't look good. I always don't like that. I always criticize that. You've got a press conference, the only person who speaks is you. In other words, you are the only one who knows better. You don't want the other ones to speak, because maybe you are afraid that those other guys, they might speak things that they don't agree with. As Mr. Shivambu said that actually in the EFF, he says that, well, it's a cult, and he agrees with that view. He was there, he's got an experience. And I know some of you will say, nah, it's not a cult. Some of you are not even there, you are not even in the party, you are not even close to the local structure of the EFF, and you don't know their experiences. And he was up there in the EFF next to Mr. Malima. He knows exactly what he's talking about. You can try and defend and be otherwise, but he knows better. I don't think he can agree with that view if he didn't know. And I am definitely sure that if there was nothing like that, he was going to say it. He was going to say it and say, no, there is nothing like that, I was there. But because now he can admit it, and you can tell that he's admitting based on what other people are saying. That means they are saying EFF is a cult, then he agrees, but he doesn't want it to come from him. Maybe because he's protecting himself, maybe because he still respects the EFF. And you would remember that the EFF is one of the big parties that they would want to work with if they start a party. And also I believe that the MK party, they have that wish of working with the EFF because it's one of those big parties in South Africa. And I am definitely sure that Mr. Shivambu would love to work with the EFF because it's a party that has black people, and that's what it's all about. You see? So I know that, guys, sometimes we are affiliated to some parties, we like them, but I can tell you there are a lot of things that you yourself maybe you don't agree with, you know, and it's okay for you to say I don't agree with this thing. I don't agree when a leader always answers the question. I don't agree when this is happening. I don't agree with this thing of attacking. I don't agree with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's okay as a person who is in the party. It's not like you hate the party, but you just don't like the way maybe they are doing things. It's not wrong, okay? Unless you are one of those people who gets into a church, and then a church, it's sort of like looks like a cult, and then everything goes. You don't ask questions. You don't have anything that you can ask. When you start asking, they chase you away. When you start asking, they say you are disrespecting. When you start questioning things, they fight you. When you start questioning things, then you are in a cult. If that is happening, you start questioning things, and then people start to say, yeah, you can't question this person. You can't question the pastor, you know. You can't question that. If it happens like that, for me, it's a cult totally. And if that person is the only person who just say, yes, this, you come up with an idea, and then he says, nah, we will go with this one. Especially if he sees that, what, you know. And I remember that there was a speech that Mr. Malema did. Actually, I don't know, it was a gala dinner or whatever. He spoke and said, I told Mr. Shivambu that, well, in the EFF, we do conferences, whatever. We contest, you know, when it comes to the president, whatever. Okay, but I told him that if he challenges me, you know, he knows. You know, to you guys, as a grown man, as a person who is ambitious, you want to do things. Otherwise, it becomes that thing. It becomes something that makes you to be blocked. It's like, it means I'm going to sit here until Amen. You know? If this person is still around, it means I'm not going to grow. Now, just imagine if Mr. Shivambu stayed in the EFF, right? And then Mr. Malema leaves until maybe he's what? Maybe until he's 70, 80, 70 even, you know? And he stays there and they keep him as a president. That means Mr. Shivambu will be the deputy president until Amen. Because if Mr. Malema grows, he grows too. If maybe Mr. Malema is 70, maybe he will be, I don't know, above him or maybe lower part. He will be a grown person. And it will be too late for Mr. Shivambu to become a president. So as a man, as a grown man, you think. You're thinking about yourself. You're thinking about your growth. You're thinking about your political ambitions. You're thinking about all these things. When you look at the situation, you can see that in this party, I don't see myself growing. I don't see myself reaching my potential. Let me just leave. That is why when Mr. Shivambu left the EFF, I understood, because he sat down and he looked at everything, looked at himself, looked at his ambitions, he looked at what he wants to achieve. Every man has a vision. Even if you are under a person, you've got your own vision. There are things you want to achieve yourself, which was a good idea for him. Okay? And you can even see that his vision, it is clear now. It is clear that he is looking to begin or start a party, because I am under the impression that he is going to start a party. Where is he going to go? He doesn't have any options. Where is he going to go? He can't go to the NC, he can't go to the EFF, he can't go back to the MK party. Where is he going to go? You see? Because they wanted them to go to parliament. I don't know if I'm right, but they even cut them from going to parliament. Where is Zico going to go? No any other option is to leave and start your own party. You've got some few experiences, you've got people behind you. Just, there is no any other option, guys. Where would he go? What would he do? I believe that the process that they are getting into, okay, is just a formal thing that they want to do. But according to what I'm saying, already they are starting a party. Maybe they already have a name. Who knows? They might even call it economic freedom land, economic land free. Whatever they want to call it, okay? According to me, I think he is already started it. Not started it, but the process is just for formality and stuff like that. But I think, anyway, I don't know what's going on here. What is happening? Let me do this once. Let me just do this. Right?
2 questions. So,
let's take some questions here, guys. Come on. What is going on here? Oh, it's done. Come on, it's not done.
In the MK party, have you officially resigned?
CPC.
So
What are you doing?
did that happen? And you say you're going to be traversing parts of the country and different regions. Where are you getting the money for this? How exactly are you going to be going about it? And then I just want to go back a little bit here. With regards to your Bushiri trip, I mean, you and I sat down 3 weeks ago where you basically said, that the leader of the MK party knew about this trip. Did you ever get a chance to sit down with him one-on-one to discuss this? You've already told us about intelligence reports. What did he say to you with regards to these intelligence reports? Because he seemed very upset during those Youth Day rallies. So maybe take us into your confidence, because it links to the credibility question that's been asked, because you had told me that you would never resign from the MK party. So please take us into your confidence in terms of that decision-making process. Yeah, I'll leave it there for now.
You're here from African Times. I actually wanted to ask the same question that have you officially resigned?
Mara,
If you do strategy review
hey, SABC must grow, man.
planning, listen up. My name's Tony DeVille,
Why would
founder
you
of
have?
Life.
Why would you have? Anyway,
Okay, you're here from African Times. I actually wanted to ask the same question, that have you officially resigned from the MK party? And also, you're talking about organizing people that are going to be approaching citizens from next week. How long does it take? Why is it so fast? Have you been in this process for a long time already, or what? Thank you.
Jones, ENCA. Mr. Shivambu, just 2 questions. How long will this consultative process take? And obviously, when you are going to people, this interim structure has to go under a banner. So what will be the name of this organization or structure that will be presented to the people during this consultative process? Thank you.
No, thank you very much for the questions. I have not resigned from Congress, and I will never resign from Congress. I'm a member of Congress.
but do you see what is happening? Yeah. Do you see, guys, what is happening? Right now, you've got the EFF at the time, right? Mr. Shivambu goes off the EFF. The announcement in the press conference, it says, Mr. Shivambu says, when the time came when he was supposed to renew his membership in his province, he didn't renew the membership, right? I didn't, and I never heard Mr. Shivambu saying in that press conference, I am resigning from the EFF. He never said that. He said, I didn't renew my membership. I don't know if that translates to resignation, because I don't think there was a letter. Was there a letter? Maybe I'm wrong. Please don't beat me up. Don't. Please don't. Okay? But was there any resignation letter? Because he just went to the person where he is a member in terms of the ward, and then he goes and says, okay, I'm not renewing. But then in the press conference, it doesn't say that I'm resigning. No, he says I didn't renew. Mr. Zuma comes out of the ANC, right? When he comes out of the ANC, he says to us, no, I'm still a member in the ANC. I have not left the ANC. But what we are doing now is just to help the ANC. He never resigned in the ANC, Mr. Zuma. Mr. Shivambu comes out of the MK party. Okay, it doesn't come out because he says he's still a member. He goes and announces a party. Okay, they are asking him, are you still a member of the MK party? And then he says, I am still a member of the MK party. I didn't resign in the MK party. In your mind, when you are thinking logically, don't be emotional, just logically. What does that tell you? What are you thinking about? What does that tell you in your mind? What does that tell you? Right? For me, guys, I don't know. But there is something fishy here. It's either they are trying to not consolidate, but they are trying to bring the black people under one umbrella of the caucus. Angazi ukuthi ngibeke kanjani. But bazama ukufaka wonke umuntu who cares to be in a party abantu abamnyama to defend whatever they are defending under one umbrella, but under different parties. Uyayibona le nto le. Amagama une EFF, une MK party, bese yinenye une ATM, right? Ebeseni une futhi ke ATM yona ngazi ke izophelela lapho ngoba Mr. Zuma nje naye akasese president enabafuna bangavele bathi aseko lapho thina ku caucus asazi ukuthi iyo yakuphi ke iATM, because I foresee a problem. Maybe Mr. Zuma he can go to the MK party. You've got EFF, you've got MK party, you've got then Mr. Shivambu na abe uqala iparty yakhe uzothatha enye iside mhlambe yabantu abamnyama Limpopo more and maybe other sides, okay? Then when they have it in one basket or one umbrella, I can call it caucus. It means they are taking or they are attacking all sides of black people aside in terms of politics. They want to bring them maybe in one umbrella under different parties, and unfortunately if they start a party it's gonna be more parties, and I don't know if they start a party they will be able to go to parliament because they have to get whatever percentage in terms of vote. Do you think they will get that? I don't know. Okay, unless maybe there are people who are in the ANC, who are in the EFF, who are in the MK party. When they start the party, they will come out or they will vote for them. They will change their vote and go to Mr. Shivambu. Then maybe he's got a chance. Do you think he will be able to actually get a seat if it happens that he starts his party and then registers the party, goes to the elections? Do you think he will end up being in parliament? Do you think so? Because he even may mention that, yeah, this party, we don't want to start something that is a friend thing. That means we are friends. We are starting something. That's what happens sometimes, when you start things with your friends. It ends up being about you. It's about us enriching ourselves, blah, blah, blah. You forget about the people, whatever. Okay, that's what happens in most cases. Okay, I don't know, guys. So I'm still a member of the MK party. I think Ibama expelled, but did they expel him? I think there was a a video. It was not a video. It was a thumbnail that I saw. Baveze Mr. Nkamulo lapha. I think bathe baba suspendile or expellile whatever. I thinking if fundile on YouTube whatever. So they don't want, just like me, Mr. Zuma, they don't want to take themselves out and resign. They want to be taken out. Don't know why people they decide to do that.
So the Constitution of Mkondo says that members are not allowed to participate in activities and programs of political parties whose aims and objectives are opposed to the objectives of Mkondo says. If Mkondo believes that going to listen to the people violates the Constitution, it will tell me that listening to the people is a violation of the Constitution. I will not resign. I said I will never resign from Mkondo. And I still stick by the decision and the communication that I made that it was the best decision ever to join Mkondo. And I spoke about it earlier that how would you replace an opportunity to learn in 6 months what you couldn't learn in 10 years? Like practical experience which you can never read in any textbook. Like and I knew from the beginning, from day one, that here we're about to start a journey of deep learning and understanding just what is the dynamics of South Africa's politics. Not from a textbook point of view, or from social media point of view, because the political leaders who are guided by social media, I think trending on social media makes them relevant. Win all elections in social media, but on the ground they're nothing.
Looking for a way to own a vehicle without relying on
No, we are
traditional
not looking
financing?
for a way,
And
man.
no finance cars.
So that is basically what we're dealing with. We're not dividing black political parties there. We are listening to people and they will tell us if there is a need for a political party. So if majority, and genuinely so, if majority of the people say that there is no need to form a political party, we will humbly listen to that and take advice from that point of view. We have constituted a structure which is going to be listening, and we have had meetings to talk about that, and none of those meetings were secret. We don't do anything secret. It's open. Even tomorrow and Saturday, we're going to have a meeting represented by all leaders from the whole county. Some are members of the ANC, some are members of the EFF, some are members of the MK. And there's nothing wrong with people meeting to say we're going to listen to people. If their parties have got a problem with their members going to listen to people, then it's their own issue. So listening we're going to do. And if our organizations think that listening is a crime, it's wrong, then they will tell us that it's wrong in terms of those issues. Where am I going to get the money to travel? You know, Zianda, for my 6 months as Mkondo as a national organizer and secretary general, I've never used the money of Mkondo to travel from any place to another place. Not once. Even when we travel out of the country. Because I be able to persuade people to contribute for travel, and I purposefully did that. Like I never got to be dependent on Mkondo on anything. And I said that in the meeting that I didn't come to suck blood of Mkondo as resources, and that is we will be able to move from point A to B. If we run out of petrol, we will check if we can borrow money to pour petrol. If there is no petrol, we'll hike. We'll stand on the street. This way we're going to touch and then go and speak to the people. That is what we're going to do. But moving from point A to B terms of how the process is going to happen. So the leadership collective that is going to meet, which is not a secret, is going to determine the program of action, the length and the process of consultation, and then we will be able to deal with these issues. Now, comrades, this thing is simple. Don't do things that you don't believe in. And don't associate with projects that you don't believe in. Never ever sacrifice principle on the altar of political convenience. It doesn't matter what happens. Like, it doesn't matter if that is going to break friendship and people that you have known the rest of your life, the brotherhood and all of those things there. If principle is broken, you disassociate from it, and decisively so. But in doing so, sometimes you must be considerate of some of the personal circumstances of some of the people that you're dealing with. So that is basically it, that you must never associate with unprincipled positions. You must always stick to principles as to how you deal with politics. These things of, yeah, I'm just there because I'm there for salary purposes and for income. What do we do? Go to leaders of the ANC on the corners and say, but what is this thing that they're doing? They'll tell you that that Ramaphosa is nonsense. That Ramaphosa is misleading us. But they won't tell you. Go to EFF people and they will tell you their own characterization of the leader of the organization and what is happening there. But they don't have the courage to tell you. Same in MK. And we can't have political culture like that. We must be able to, when you raise issues internally sharply, you don't have to go and gossip about it anyway. Now all the issues and concerns that I heard about MK, I raised internally. Even against all odds, if there's an opportunity to raise an issue about wrongdoing, I would speak. And clearly speak against the untouchables there. People who take drugs and tweet at night and insult us. And we'll confront them and say, what is this about? And that is basically how we deal with these issues in terms of what it is. We'll never tiptoe around anyone in terms of principles. Always protect principle on how we deal with these issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Margaret. Number one, number two, number three, number four, number five. We're going to attend to everyone, don't worry. Thank you.
I'm Copano with MTN.
What
happened to unity under the MKP? And then my second question is that
all right, ladies and gentlemen, listen. All I'm saying is, you know what? Whatever Mr. Shivambu does, obviously, it's his business. And whatever he wants to start, it's his business. And the question that I have before I close is the following. Mr. Shivambu says that he never wanted or needed any money, or he never asked for any money from the MK party to travel, to go wherever he wants to go to, right? The question now will be, why would Mr. Shivambu wants to take money from the MK party while he even had a chance to maybe taking it by using which he had a right of asking for money to travel around? He may have if he wanted to steal maybe the money, wanted to do whatever in terms of money wise, he would have done that like easily. I think so. But for the fact that he was using his money, that is if it's true, using his money to go and travel even outside the country, it tells you one thing, that there is no way that Mr. Shivambu could have wanted to take the money from the MK party. That is why I'm saying, according to what I'm listening right now, to what I'm hearing right now, it tells me one thing. It tells me that somebody somewhere just wanted Mr. Shivambu to be removed, and the only way they could do that, it was just to cook something, and then after cooking it and just give it to the president, and then boom, 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 papa, you are gone. Okay? So I really don't know, guys. You know, politics, it's one of those, I don't know whether to call them carrier or whatever, but it's one of those that when you don't have a thick skin, or you are not that, you know, strong, you don't have a big heart, it will mess you up, you know. It will mess you up. It will destroy you big time. You must have a very, very, very thick skin. And according to me, what I'm seeing with Mr. Shivambu is the fact that I think he gained experience in all these parties and everything. I think maybe, just maybe. And then maybe right now he sees as an opportunity to maybe use his skills where he can be free, where he will not be challenged in any way. Okay, not challenged. I am putting it wrong, right? Maybe he will not be boxed, you see? Boxed and not express things. And I am believing and I'm hoping that if he starts that party, he will operate differently. He will allow people to express themselves, and they will be transparent. Obviously, they will have their own meetings privately, but I'm hoping that he will not suppress people. He will not make people not to express themselves. Because it seems like he wants to be a party, or he wants to be a leader who allows people to express themselves, who allows people to show themselves and express their views. And if they don't like something, be able to express it. Not like a cult, like when you're supposed to, when you don't feel good about something, you can't tell the leader. When you tell the leader, it's like you are challenging them. When you are asking questions, it's like you are challenging them. I hope that if he starts the party, that's how it's going to be. And if that's how it's going to be, I can tell you, he can go far. And I believe that if he can operate like that, other parties, especially parties like your Action SA, maybe Rise Mzansi, maybe Bosa, you know, those parties that don't have those leaders that are just controlling everything, like, you know, I think they might relate with him, and they might actually want to support also and want to work with him and stuff like that. All right? Because that's what I'm saying. He's trying to isolate himself and have something that is going to be sort of like not a dictatorship party, but he wants to appear as a person who allows other people in the party to express themselves. Okay? I am hoping that that's how it's going to be if he starts a party. But if it's going to be the same thing as these other parties, especially also with the promises, promise the same things, you promise the same things, you promise the same things. And when you get the seat in parliament, or you get 2 seats, 3 seats, maybe 1 seat, you forget about the people. Then you become like all these other parties. Unfortunately, the challenges that South Africa is facing are the same. If you begin or you start a party, the only thing that is going to drive you is talking about jobs, talking about this, talking about land. That's what you will actually going to. That means you will end up becoming like these other parties, unfortunately. Because the challenges that we face in South Africa, it seems like they are the same challenges and they don't get solved. And it's like they are using them people to start parties. And unfortunately, if they don't see, it becomes the same thing. You start a party, the same thing. Fighting for people, jobs, the other party starts. Fighting for people, jobs. One thing I think parties that I am seeing that are more different, not totally, but at least they are, I don't know. It's actually, I don't know about Patriotic Alliance, but I think, let me just put it in there, right? Patriotic Alliance, and then we've got, what is that one? Action SA, right? And then when you think about Bosa, I don't know, guys, because the only person there who is like, I don't know, who maybe tries to make us to see what they stand for, what they are fighting for, it's Miss Ayanda, yeah. that lady who makes videos on YouTube and talks about what is happening, whatever. I think you can, but when it comes to Action SA and Patriotic Alliance, you can tell what they are fighting for. They are fighting against, not fighting against, but they are dealing with for foreigners. They are dealing with illegal for foreigners. And you can tell what they are focused on. And I can tell you, a lot of people can relate to that. And if they win in this fight, and they end up getting legal people to be here and taking out all those who are illegal, trust me, guys, people, they will like them, and people, they will relate to them, and people, they will realize that these people, they were fighting for us. On whether they are going to be able to win the fight, I don't know. I don't know. Because according to me, this thing is deeper than we think. I don't think we will totally deal with it, because it's deeper than what we think. Because this thing started a long time ago, which I believe that if you don't deal with something from the grounds, from the foundations, trust you in me, it's gonna be very difficult for you to actually deal with it at the top. You will try and do that, but trust me, it will come back again next time. You know, if the foundations are not shaken, the top part is going to be very difficult. But what they are doing, I see. Okay, they are fighting all the way. They go to hospitals trying to get illegal people who are from outside, trying to get health care there while they are illegal. Some of them, they take things, you know, they are fighting. You can see they are fine. That is different according to me, you know. But these other parties, they must just look for something that they can capitalize on. Otherwise, it will be the same thing. Same thing. Because in Parliament, I think the two parties that are fighting the illegal immigrants or anything like that, it's those two. I think so, right? Patriotic Alliance and also Action SA. We all know Action SA. Mr. Mashaba has always shouted about that. He doesn't like it. We don't want the illegal immigrants here. And he has been fighting it, I don't know since when. And guys, please, when people are fighting these things, always remember that this thing, it's all about illegal. Illegal, not legal. Those who are illegal, they are good. I'm definitely sure they are operating. But if you are illegal, then it becomes a problem. It's against the law. We say we operate in the law. We use the law to operate. But if a person is jumping the same law that we say we are operating in, then it becomes a problem. We can't jump the law ourselves, or we can't we can't go according to the law as South Africans. But then you allow other people to go beyond the law, or to go under the law, or not under the law, but to not go according to the law. You cannot expect the citizens to follow the law. But somebody who comes outside, when they get inside the country, and then they are just doing willy-nilly, they don't follow the law. It just doesn't happen like that. And then it means we are hypocrites. All those people who are applying the law are hypocrites. That's what these guys are fighting for. I would not have a problem to have millions and millions of foreigners in South Africa, but who are legal. I will have a problem to have millions and millions of people from outside, but they are illegal. Whether from America, whether from wherever, it doesn't matter where it is, whether from Africa, whether from overseas, it doesn't matter. If you are illegal, you are illegal. And I'm not saying that there are people who are not illegal outside, who are from South Africa, they are there. They must also take them out. Because we cannot have that, guys, okay? Because otherwise will be, they call this thing of banana republic. You want us to be a banana country, banana republic. Any person who wants to do anything illegal, they jump to our country, they come to our country. It doesn't matter, guys, whether you are from overseas, whether you are from wherever, it doesn't matter. It cannot be a play, it cannot be normal that any person who thinks of doing anything illegal, they run to South Africa. And there are people, guys, who maybe, I am just saying, I'm not saying, and unfortunately, sometimes you won't know the difference. Now, there are people who are from Africa, right? The reason why maybe they run to South Africa, some of them, it is because in their countries there are wars. Okay? For me, for me, guys, it's understandable. Okay? It's understandable. But I don't know if there are wars and then you come to South Africa and then you want to be a citizen. You see? That means everyone who is in your country, if they run here and they want to be citizens, and then it becomes a problem. I would understand if you come here, you say, I'm just going to stay until this thing is over, then I go back. Then it's understandable. Guys, the population grows. What people don't understand, and I think even other leaders that we have don't understand. Maybe they do, it's just that they're ignoring it, okay? What they don't understand is when the population grows, right, even the economy has to grow. If the population is growing, the economy is not growing, trust me, you are in a mess, you are in trouble, you are in a crisis, you will be in problems in few years. If you allow the population to grow, you must make sure that your economy is good. That is why I'm saying, when this thing of the democracy started 94, they didn't put the balance. They didn't say, we've got this population, we're going to have to make sure that the economy is here. And if the economy is not here, we cannot allow people to populate our country because we'll have a problem of resources. They did not balance it. They just opened up, everybody was excited, and we were all excited because it's democracy, we are voting, whatever, and people saw an opportunity to come in. Okay? And when the population is growing, the demand is growing, the supply is not growing, then it becomes a problem. If the demand grows, okay, the economy also, not the demand, the population grows, the economy has to grow. If the economy is not growing, you gotta stop, guys. You gotta block and say, listen, we've got a problem, we want to balance our things. We will not be having all these problems, whatever, fighting each other and all of that, because people failed to just control things. It is just like our infrastructure. It is just like our maintenance, whatever. People failed to maintain infrastructure. People failed to maintain things. And now because it's too late, they try to maintain them later in life, and it becomes a problem. It takes more money and it affects the people. That is why Tiwali gochwali se mahanzi bantu bekhaya. Nani kale into nake electrical station or whatever they call it. Mhlambe nake station se electricity, make sure ukuthi uyas-maintainer. You don't just build senginegezi ni excited niyakhohlwa nidla imali kumnandi nikhohlwa uku-maintain izinto. That's what we are experiencing today. South Africa kugcwele construction all over the place on our roads. People are trying to fix things, but they could have maintained these things from a long time ago. Ngaba sinayo le problem, ngabe is right. Kwafika i-World Cup, everybody was all over the place fixing things, whatever. When the World Cup went out, and then everything just went down. Stadiums were not taken care of, everything. South Africa ngazi njani. Ifuna nje ukuba strong, ukuba powerful when something is coming. Manje the F1, Formula 1 tournament or whatever event, they wanted to come to South Africa. And I read online, Formula 1 has approved the application for South Africa to host. Now it's going to be all over the place. People will be fixing things, putting things together, whatever. And then when it goes, gone. That money that they would have made out of that, it's going to go to people's pockets instead of using that money to maintain things. Huh? I don't know, guys, but I think somehow we need better leaders, according to me. Better leaders, people who are not selfish, people who are not greedy, people who will be able to go out there and make the change. And unfortunately, Okay, fortunately, we do have those people. I was listening to Bra Ike when he was talking to me, Mr. Sbo. DJ Sbo. Mr. Ike said, we do have people who can fix the country. We do have people who can do better things. We do have people who can change things. Okay? But those people are not allowed. That is me now. Those people are not allowed. When you come in and you want to do things straight, it's either they threaten you, it's either you get taken out in terms of your position, they come up with something just to make you get tired, or they make you to be scared and then you go away, and then somebody gets in and then it's a mess. It's a mess. We do have people who can fix things. Don't tell me that there is no one in ESCOM people that can fix that thing. There are people who can be able to. But unfortunately, when they get in, it's just like, it's just shy, man. There was a guy, I think there was an audio that was circulating online. A person was exposing that actually it's possible to fix ESCOM. But there are people there, guys. Anything has a solution. There's nothing that doesn't have a solution. Every country, they've got solutions. They've got people who are capable to do it. But people are not allowed. For me, politics is like a place where if you don't have anything to do, maybe you want to make money in other ways, you just go there, become a member, 3 10 people like you, you've got the charisma, they put you there, you start getting propositions, you make money, blah blah blah, get tenders if you do whatever, and then that's it. Even if they use it to be, it's a people's thing. Yeah, it's about the people. It's about the people. But at the end of the day, when you look at it deeper, everyone is looking for themselves. It's sort of like when you're starting a party, it's like you're starting a business. You are starting your own business. That is why they can protect it with everything. Protect it with all their being. Why? Because it brings something to their pockets. Just like when you start a business, you will protect it with everything. You will protect it with everything, I can tell you, because that's something that makes you money. Everyone who starts a party, the fight is to get to parliament. That is the most important thing. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I've said it all. I've spoken. I've done whatever. I thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you watch after the live, thank you so much also. And I hope that you enjoyed that, guys. You can like the video. You can subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. And guess what? Nintanda nonke makhaya bafethu niphathe kahle. Kusasa namhla iSaturday, kusasa iSunday. Hambe esontweni nangabe umuntu wesonto, hambe uyokhonza uNkulunkulu wakho, ne? Nkulunkulu anibusise, nibe nosuku oluhle. Mina ke ngiqedile. Sengiyahamba bafethu. Nibe nosuku elihle. I'm out.